Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So I regret to inform you that Twitter is once again angry at PewDiePie. Now of course, he needs no introductions, you all know who PewDiePie is, but if you haven't been following his content over the past couple of years, he recently moved to Japan and is raising his family while assimilating to and also respecting Japanese culture around him. And recently he made this video on YouTube talking about YouTubers who are ruining Japan. Now, of course, he is very specific with the type of YouTuber and streamer he is talking about in this video. However, people on Twitter will ignore that, but let's see what he has to say about this issue.
So this all started, of course, with Logan Paul. Yeah. Now, it's become an infestation. All these YouTubers are coming, trying to be as obnoxious as possible, get a bunch of attention, get a bunch of hate clicks, bing bada boom bada bang. And now, Ken, it's gone so far that Japan is actually starting to take action. The military of Japan did a drill where they simulated a bunch of YouTubers driving into their military base to live stream. Just couldn't believe it. I thought it was like an actual YouTuber first, and I'm like, wait a minute, no. It's just a drill
anti-terrorism.
Yeah. YouTubers are terrorists according to Japan, and they're not that far off. That's the thing; they're not even that far off.
So here is the main post on Twitter that people are talking about. It's of course a Dexerto post here, so it's intentionally a bit vague and possibly misleading for the purpose of riling people up on Twitter. And based on some of the quotes and responses to this tweet sharing his video, there is one thing that is very clear. No matter what happens to PewDiePie in Japan, he will always have a home in the minds of millions of Twitter users across the world. Now, there's a very strange phenomenon with this tweet in particular and across Twitter generally, where often the replies to a tweet like this are very positive, but the quotes are almost exclusively negative. And the reason that is happening is because people believe using a quote instead of a reply will get them more attention. That is how desperate they are for attention. So if you look at the replies, you can see some actual reasonable responses to what PewDiePie was calling out, saying the legacy of Logan Paul. The amount of people thinking Pewds needs clout or anything to prove anymore is astounding. What are you people consuming? They have no empathy and are very rude to Japanese people. Call out Johnny Somali, say his name. But then, this last reply here, one of the top liked replies saying, didn't he also move to Japan? Is PewDiePie unable to criticize a bunch of obnoxious tourists who are disrespecting other people in a foreign country because he respectfully lives in that foreign country? It's a very weird criticism, and this tweet right here really hits the nail on the head. It says, giving it 12 hours before the lane-pilled brisket pro-shitters do not interact, make a post with this image that gets 90,000 likes. Now, we wouldn't get a Lane profile picture or anything like that, but we would get something similar. So to the tune of over 3,000 likes, this user shows a collage of images with the intended message of saying that if PewDiePie is looking for these annoying YouTubers, he should be looking at himself because he's just as guilty as they are, which is an incredibly disingenuous comparison and thing to try to say, and it also proves that you didn't watch the video, because in the video, he only mentions a handful of YouTubers and streamers that fit under this category that he is criticizing. And also, I think it's incredibly disingenuous to compare PewDiePie, who has been making family-styled vlogs in Japan while respecting Japanese people and culture around him, to people who are genuine nuisance streamers like some of the streamers he mentioned, like Logan Paul, for example. We all know his infamous video that started a lot of conversations about nuisance streamers in Japan. But also don't forget, Logan Paul spent a lot of time in Japan where he was going around and disrespecting Japanese culture and annoying Japanese people. And I think this image really just sums up Logan Paul's experience in Japan and the reaction a lot of people had to him. They were very annoyed by him, and it's not surprising since this is Logan Paul. But PewDiePie also mentioned this YouTuber, whose name I forget. It's not even supposed to be a joke. I just genuinely forgot who this guy was, who a few months ago made a video where he was basically hopping onto trains and buses in Japan without paying, and when confronted about not paying, he would feign ignorance or run away from law enforcement. And that video was basically him filming a crime spree across Japan. And eventually that video would get taken down by YouTube for violating their community guidelines. But in the PewDiePie video, he also mentions or shows footage of Johnny Somali, who is definitely the face of the most recent wave of nuisance streamers to go to Japan to annoy people for attention and views.
He's like bothering people in the subway, and then
What?
this Asian-looking guy shows up.
You know where I'm from?
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
You're from America?
Yes.
So am I.
You're from America.
Yeah, you're being obnoxious.
You know what we do to you?
What do you do?
We will do again.
Do what?
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You understand?
Do you think I'm Japanese?
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
Where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
Texas, buddy.
I f***ing love this guy. Texas, buddy. Yeehaw, mother.
Yo, wallahi, this is crazy.
Go minute, go minute. This is being so nice to him. Like, does not deserve it.
Acting like I'm a terrorist or something.
There you go. They said it. He is an actual terrorist. But he's been yelling Fukushima, Nagasaki. We will do it again. And it was like, I can't believe they treat me like I'm a terrorist.
What do they think of a terrorist of some kind? This is crazy. Why would they think that? Haha.
Anyway, bomb Japan. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, so he got arrested. Now he got deported. I don't know if he's banned for life or anything like that, but I think it will be really difficult for him to enter again, which is good. Get him out.
So after seeing very brief portions of that video, I think it's very clear the type of people PewDiePie is talking about when he refers to these annoying YouTubers. It's a very specific brand of nuisance streamers causing genuine problems in their stay at Japan. Now, of course, people just miss the point entirely because making fun of PewDiePie or attacking him is easy likes. I mean, you see stuff like this with nearly 10,000 likes saying, "Weeb who moved to Japan complaining about weebs visiting Japan." Many such cases. This is more like a Twitter user complains about a YouTube video that they didn't watch. Many such cases. Here's another one from an infamous engagement farmer saying Japan is Wakanda for white people, which of course this is a stolen tweet. They're doing it for engagement farming, but this joke might be funny at first glance, but if you give it like one brain cell of thought, it completely collapses because Wakanda is not a real place. So this attempt at a joke doesn't really make sense at all. But of course, people point out, people really forgot about Johnny Somali and his sidekick, huh? And yeah, people are intentionally doing that because he is PewDiePie. Okay, PewDiePie derangement syndrome is a very real thing. He hasn't been on Twitter for years and people are still going after him. They are quite literally screaming into the void because they can't stop thinking about him. In fact, this began many years ago when various media outlets were constantly attacking him and accusing him of crazy things. In fact, if you saw this image, you knew you were about to read a terrible hit piece on PewDiePie. They loved using this image of him. And that would transcend into actual viewers and users on social media who have continued to hate PewDiePie every time he takes a breath for years and years now. And you can see some of the deranged responses to this latest video by PewDiePie. This user saying, "Ethno-nationalist Swedish Nazi weeb." Let's run that again. Ethno-nationalist Swedish Nazi weeb complaining about probably other ethno-nationalist Nazi weebs in Japan is the funniest stuff ever. Ah, yes. Very, very reasonable opinion and take on this issue. Here's another one saying, "PewDiePie hates immigration, huh? Not surprised. Not surprised. This issue has nothing to do with that. This is about tourists coming to Japan to annoy people for content. But of course, they're trying to confuse the issue so they can hate on PewDiePie." Here's another one saying, "Noted Nazi dog whistler does a dog whistle." Now, I always say this, when someone unironically uses the term dog whistle, you're probably dealing with someone who has a very bad take, okay? It is a dog whistle for a bad take you're about to see, okay? And this idea of a Nazi dog whistle, what part of his video are you claiming is this dog whistle? The part where he says the main point being raised is that you should respect other cultures when you're visiting them? Is that the dog whistle? I'm lost here. Where is the dog whistle in this video? And he's addressed other outrageous claims that he is catering to all these dog whistles. People try to cancel him for doing the OK sign. People try to label the bro fist as a hate symbol and all sorts of crazy things. And he's responded to this before and said a very fair point. When you are trying to demonize and label things as hate symbols and dog whistles and all this, when they're not, when they're genuine, just innocent gestures and things, you are empowering actual racists and white supremacists. You are giving them power by letting them claim something that's not even theirs. You're trying to claim something like a bro fist as a dog whistle, even though it's not. You're giving power to genuine bigots, and people on Twitter don't actually care about that. They just care about virtue signaling about someone they don't like on the internet. Now, here's another tweet saying, didn't you harass an Indian channel and have your subscribers racially harass them because they were going to replace you as the #1 subscribed to on YouTube? Well, here's the issue. This needs some proof right here about these racial harassment campaigns that he's leading that never happened. But also, didn't you harass an Indian channel? Oh, some small foreign channel? You mean T-Series, right? Right now, I believe the biggest channel in the world, the next biggest, is Mr. Beast. T-Series, the same one that makes around $9 million in ad revenue every single month. A Indian conglomerate that is trying to absorb and monopolize all of Indian entertainment under one YouTube channel for their own financial gain. That is the poor channel that he was trying to pass in subscribers. That's the person and the entity we're supposed to feel bad for. It's absolutely crazy. I think this quote is the only reasonable one I could find saying this. People in the quote retweets, isn't this what PewDiePie does? Ah, yes, going around and harassing people in Japan is just the same as moving there and assimilating to the culture. Yeah, this is the only genuinely sane response you can find in the quotes. And if you want to feel good, this has 26,000 likes, so at least there's some normal people on Twitter. But the amount of disingenuous attacks that he has received as a result of this video is insane, but it's not too surprising. And like I said, he's not even on Twitter anymore, so they are quite literally screaming into the void. But that's just part of the game. They want attention, they want likes. That is their dopamine farm. That is their main purpose in life. And that's going to continue because they have nothing else going on for them at all. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.